So going on right here, what I have some 3/8 inch thick plate. You can see the shape I've got drawn out there. I got 4 of them drawn out to cut. So these right here will be repair panels or strengthening panels for the frame rail. So right here, it will take this shape up to about right here, then cut back. This right here is pretty much solid on this one. It's got a little bit of issue right here. I'm going to take and plate this with some 16 gauge, but I'm going to sandwich both sides, and see this inner side's got a lip, so that plate will actually sit in there and weld to that. I'm going to put one over here on this side, and of course on this side right here where it's real bad, it will go up to the edge here, weld all the way across, come down, weld here, and all the way back down. And you see this one right here was the worst one. It's got a bad holes, so this is going to get plated also with 16 gauge. I'm going to continue. I'm going to go ahead and get those plates cut so I can go ahead and start getting that stuff welded up. But that's the first step, and from that point we'll continue on. Alright guys, so what I'm using here is I have a Art Captain 205 MP, which has MIG, TIG, plasma cutting, you know, a few other little things. But just using air compressor at 55 psi, regulated on that setup with that plasma cutter, and it cutting right through that 3/8 inch thick steel pretty good. Doesn't take much, just go a little bit slower, and you can usually just take the hammer, tap it once or twice, and the parts will fall right out. Probably one question I got that somebody asked was, why am I using 3/8 inch thick steel? It's probably just a little bit too much overkill. Yeah, it's probably a little bit too thick, but you know what? I have it on hand. It's stuff I don't have to buy. Right now, steel prices are a little bit ridiculous for different items, but this 3/8 inch thick steel, I've had it for probably 8 years now, and haven't had a chance to use it, but it's filling the purpose now for what I need. Right here, I'm using an air chisel with a flat blade to chisel off all that slag. That's a quick and easy way to do it. Works great. So I got them all straightened up. We'll take them and start fitting them, because there's little variances with that section of the frame rail just from factory. So I've got to sort of adjust here and there for these. But I'm going to put a bevel on them so I can get a nice weld against the frame rail and then fill it in real nice. So I went ahead and got this one plate welded up here, tacked in, welded. I went through and welded all the gaps. Want to make sure I didn't have any burn through the frame, just to make sure everything was still real nice and strong. This plate worked out great. I come through after this and grind and start beveling, which there will be a lot of that, a lot of grinding and beveling and making it fit. All right, so I've got a good weld here. I'm across the bottom. I've got a couple up here, and I've got some along the back side there. This right here will strengthen up real good. Once I do this one and the one on the inside, and then I put some gauge steel. So after I weld here, I'm going to bevel this, and it won't be that hard edge. So anywhere where I'm putting in a lot of weld, I'm going to bevel the edges of the steel plate, because I know it's you're really not doing anything by beveling it except just adding aesthetic to it, but it'll still be strong. So as this video plays, I'm gonna go ahead and share a couple stories with y'all. So I was working on this morning, was doing some air chiseling and stuff like that, and starting to get ready to weld, and one of my neighbors come over from across the street, super nice guy. He brought me some deer, tenderloin deer steaks, and ground deer, which I am super appreciative. You know, it's really nice having neighbors that just look out for each other. And we had the chickens a while back, and I used to give him eggs all the time. And it's nice living in a community where people just share back and forth. So I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna weld up some more on all corners and sides, get up in here more. I am gonna take and put some welding rod up in there. Yeah, also, right before this clip, I was welding up some stuff, and what's really funny is another neighbor came over from 2 houses down the street. He had his carpentry belt on. He was working on his house and stuff, but they just moved in. He said they just moved in not too long ago, but the house that they had bought it a couple years ago, and said they wanted to move closer to their grandkids and stuff, which their daughter lives down the street. But I had never met the man, and he come over and we talked, and he said he had saw the car getting media blasted a couple weeks back, and he knew exactly what kind of car it was, and he was interested. But he owned a body shop. He had owned a body shop. He sold it and retired, but up near Nashville. And if I ever needed any grinding disc or paper or whatever, he said he had a ton of it, and I was more than welcome. So I was like, wow, I really appreciate it. He goes, hey, whenever you get ready to paint it, let me know and I'll come help you. So, I keep getting these neighbors stopping by who I have never met, or whatever, but they just offer their help, which is amazing. I really appreciate everybody that's really helping me out. Anyways, I'm just going to continue on with this video right here where I'm just welding up all these box sections. This right here should strengthen this car up substantially, especially since I'm putting the kind of power I am in this thing. I really plan on, this car having the ability to make the power and put it down, but also I'm not going to be looking for 900 horsepower out of this motor. I want to tune it down so I have the ability, if I want to go high power, but I want to daily drive it, so I'm going to tune it down and have it as a daily driver. But, you know, it's a fun thing to be this far into it only a few months in. I couldn't have thought that I would have been this far into this project this quick. But it seems for me that it's coming around really fast. And that, 2-year timeline, it looks feasible. I don't know if I'll make it any quicker than that, but I think that it's going to look really cool when I'm done with it. So I've got all 4 plates welded on for today. I'll go ahead tomorrow. It's 10:30 at night. I don't want to start grinding tonight. Wake up everybody. So tomorrow I'll start beveling and cleaning them up like I did this one. I'm gonna clean up all the other joints, and after I get everything beveled and cleaned up, and welded more to where I need it welded, I'll create a sheet metal piece. What I'll more likely do is just cut a wider than I need, weld it, tack it on one side, bring it to the other side, and then trim it with um, a cutting blade on a grinder, and then weld it on that side, and then go back and uh, re-grind everything pretty nice. But I'll put all the nice bevels on everything, and that right there, hopefully I'll be able to finish. Sorry about that. I'll be able to finish the frame rails as far as getting all that straightened out tomorrow, hopefully. And then, from that point, then I can start working on the inside on getting the getting the rocker panels done, because at least that will strengthen that up to where I can start cutting all this. Like I said, there, I'm going to have to do something with that. That's that rail that attaches the front frame rail. Let me zoom out. Front frame rail comes back. This rail comes across. It goes all the way through the trans tunnel, but it was welded to the inner rocker panel. So, factory welded. This one right here, they had taken and screwed sheet metal screws through it to the patch rocker panel that they had screwed to everything. You can sort of see that original inner rail. So you have the inner rocker panel. You actually have an inner rail, which is that piece, which of course mine's all gone. That's what I was talking about. Once I get the outer rocker panel off, I might take and cut that section out also. And actually, from the front here, is part of the original body, take and put a piece of structural rail going down either side, because both mine are both rotted out. And actually, when they fixed this one, they never even replaced it. So, yeah, there's a lot of pieces and parts that should have been fixed that whenever the original people did, but they did it on cheap, which I can't blame them at that point. But, we'll get it. This first, frame rails first, and then we'll fix that. But there again, like I said, I get that outer rocker panel off. And what I might do is, like I said, go from the back to the front with a structural piece on the inside between the inner and outer rockers, and actually take another piece of square tubing that I have and run from this cross rail here all the way into that and weld to this and to that structural piece. And that would strengthen that up a lot. So there's a lot of stuff I can do to really strengthen this car, and I think I want to try doing that. The outer rocker panels that I have, you're supposed to slice them right here, and then they come over, and then you cut it right across here, front and back like that. This piece, is pretty well, it's got a few pinholes, which I'll probably just, tack, do a little spot welding, fill those, grind them back flat. See this piece right here though? You cannot get that, I don't reckon, as a replacement. So I've got to pretty much make patch panels, that look like this to put over here. I've got to fix this, which you can see it's all Swiss cheesed up. So what I'm going to do is, after I get, before I do the outer rocker, I'll take and slice this to here, this box out, weld in, tack in a new piece there. This right here is okay, but then I'll do the same thing here. I'm going to get rid of this hole. This was a drain hole, I reckon. I don't know. Same thing. I'm going to weld this here shut. And then I need to create this piece right here, where that hole is actually, where the front fender, there's like a clip that has it's like one of those speed clips. It's got the threads in it, and that sits in there, and the front fender bolts up to it. So that's what holds the front fender on the lower section back here. But, I'll, use the measurements off of this and do the same thing on that side, and get it all straightened out and squared. So that's what I'm going to do. As soon as I get these front frame rails done, I'll start on the driver's side here, because I think that's where I've got a lot of the issues now, especially with that. I might even try when I do I'm going to try to stay straight with this. I'm not sure if that's bent out or not, or if that's just how much metal's missing. The passenger side looks like it goes out that far also, so I guess that's just the curvature of the body. I still got a little bit of stuff to get rid of here. That looks like that's silicone where they tried patching it. But yeah, I've got to replace everything from up there down to the floor on the passenger side. That hole's not supposed to be there. And then everything is 8 out here. So that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna split it up into sections. So come down to this line, come across, but it curves in. So I've got to, probably what I'll do is I'll cut out this whole section right here all the way up, take that panel, flatten it out, put it on a piece of sheet metal, trace it, and then take and, bend my curve into it. So I know what I need to do. And, after I get my curve bent over, what I'll do is I'll leave a little extra and I'll put a lip on it, and that way I can weld to this inner box here. But we're getting there. I just wanted to strengthen up these rails though before I got any further. I didn't want this thing collapsing on me. Anyways, I'm gonna call it there for the night and go in and let the dogs in. I've got them out here with me in the garage because if I leave them upstairs, they bark every time I make a noise out here. But we'll continue on tomorrow. I'll make another video tomorrow, hopefully. I got to go back to work on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'll make another video tomorrow, and then might do some little things here and there over the weekend. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Y'all, have a good night. Like, share, subscribe. See you next time.